Well, great news for Eric Trump today. I mean, great news. There have been a lot of really good days and great days financially for the Trump boys, including their father, who have all gotten much, just wildly richer during this term of Donald Trump's presidency. But Donald Trump is living proof that money cannot buy happiness and money cannot buy honor, as every member of the Trump family proves every day. And now Eric Trump is getting a second chance at honor, thanks to his father and thanks to his father's war in Iran. One of the desperate measures available to the American military when recruitment is not going well is to raise the eligibility age for joining the United States Army. You usually age out of military eligibility when you turn 36. But in desperate times like these, the eligibility age has been raised to 42, which is exactly what Donald Trump has had to do today with his presidency and his war, depressing recruitment in the American military. And with the eligibility age today now going up to 42, 42-year-old Eric Trump has a chance to completely change the public perception of him, pushed by late-night comedians that he's the stupid Trump, the unwanted Trump, unwanted by his neglectful father. That is the comedic image of Eric Trump, which certainly doesn't mean it's true. And now Eric Trump has a way to prove that that is false. Eric Trump has a way to prove that he is the brave Trump. He can seize that image right now. He is the brave Trump, something we have never seen before, a brave Trump. Avoiding military service in war is a Trump family specialty. The reason the Trumps live in the United States instead of Germany is that the family fled Germany when the family name was still Drumpf to avoid military service. That's why Donald Trump's grandfather came to the United States to avoid German military service in 1885. Donald Trump himself, of course, repeatedly and famously avoided the military draft during the Vietnam War, ultimately getting out of it with a note from his doctor saying that his feet that he spent the rest of his life playing golf on just could not serve in any capacity in the Army, not as a driver, not an office job, just nothing. After Barron Trump celebrated his 20th birthday in lavish style last week as a Trump, he could have marched straight down to a recruiting station and join the Army to fight in his father's war. But he didn't. And so Eric Trump has been left with a wide open opportunity to become the brave Trump, the first and only brave Trump in history. And so tonight, with the 3 Trumps available for military service in their father's war, Eric Trump, Tiffany Trump, and Barron Trump, the world waits for the emergence of the first brave Trump. It used to be unthinkable that a president of the United States could lead the country in war while his sons refused to go to war. All 4 of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's sons served in the military in World War II, 4 of them, and no one considered that heroic. No one considered that brave at the time because it was inconceivable that the president's sons would not serve in the military during World War II. That would have been a scandal. Just as it is now completely inconceivable that a Trump would ever serve in the military under any circumstances. Before she became Queen Elizabeth, Princess Elizabeth served in uniform during World War II while her father was King of England. She drove an ambulance in London when London was being devastated by German bombing raids, and no one was surprised that she did that. Does Barron Trump know how to drive? Could he drive an ambulance in the Army? Or is he not quite as tough as the 18-year-old Princess Elizabeth was when she joined the war effort? Imagine being more spoiled than an English princess on her way to becoming Queen of England. That is what it means to be a Trump. More spoiled than the British royal family. There has already been an online movement urging Barron Trump to join the military to fight his father's war. And now they can include Eric in that campaign. Eric and his older brother, Donald Jr., were of military enlistment age when their hometown was attacked on 9/11. Thousands of young American men and women on that day decided to join the United States military, but not the Trumps. As the wars of their era began in Afghanistan and Iraq, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump followed in the family tradition of silently watching others go off to war. They could have honorably protested those wars, as many people did, but they didn't. They did nothing, the most dishonorable choice. Barron Trump and Tiffany Trump and Eric Trump could now honorably protest their father's war, and very effectively protest it. Or they could join their father's war. But we know enough about Trumps to know that they will do nothing, absolutely nothing, as the Trumps always do in war. The absurdist White House press secretary today said, quote, "If Iran fails to accept the reality of the current moment, if they fail to understand that they have been defeated militarily and will continue to be, President Trump will ensure that they are hit harder than they have ever been hit before. President Trump does not bluff, and he is prepared to unleash hell." Unleash Eric. Unleash Barron. Unleash Tiffany. Of course, Donald Trump does bluff. He bluffs most of the time, and the Iranians appear to know that now, which is why they have rejected Donald Trump's desperate and secret 15-point peace plan that Donald Trump is afraid of making public. The Iranians are now publicly mocking Donald Trump's public desperation in trying to initiate negotiations with them. With the price of gas continuing to climb, the chief economist for the oil giant BP said, quote, "We've not seen anything like this. There's been no disruption of this scale in the past. It's every oil analyst's study piece or worst nightmare, one that we never thought would happen. No one for whom Donald Trump is their worst nightmare is surprised that Donald Trump has created the oil industry's worst nightmare and the economy's worst nightmare. After pretending, as Donald Trump has done, to be the oil industry's best friend, which he's actually incapable of being, because Donald Trump cannot comprehend the complexities of the oil industry or any other industry. Donald Trump cannot read. He learned to read. He apparently knows how to read, as we see him struggle with teleprompters from time to time, but he famously hates to read. He doesn't read books, though his first wife claimed that he did keep a copy of Hitler's speeches on his nightstand. In his first term as president, it became quickly clear that Donald Trump was incapable of reading the most important document that presidents are given every day, the President's Daily Brief, which is a secret intelligence assessment of everything the president needs to know that is happening in the world. That brief had to be presented to Donald Trump verbally and as quickly and simply as possible, which meant that it left out more information than other presidents have always received in that brief. And now Donald Trump's war briefings have to be done with video. 3 current U.S. officials and a former U.S. official tell NBC News, each day since the start of the war in Iran, U.S. military officials compile a video update for President Donald Trump that shows video of the biggest, most successful strikes on Iranian targets Over the previous 48 hours, the daily montage typically runs for about 2 minutes, sometimes longer, the official said. One described each daily video as a series of clips of stuff blowing up. The video briefing is fueling concerns among some of Trump's allies that he may not be receiving or absorbing the complete picture of the war now in its fourth week. Two of the current officials and former officials said the videos are also driving Trump's increasing frustration with news coverage of the war. Trump has pointed to the success depicted in the daily videos to privately question why his administration can't better influence the public narrative, asking aides why the news media doesn't emphasize what he's seeing. Reacting to the news report today of Donald Trump being briefed on the war by watching stuff blowing up videos, Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen said this.
We have a delusional president who is getting his information, as you say, from these short videos and ignoring the other information from U.S. intelligence agencies that, for example, warned that if you got rid of the top tier of Iranian leadership, you're likely to end up with the even more radical group, who specifically said that Iran was not about to get a nuclear weapon.
We have a delusional president. And that is just a fact now. That's an observable fact. And because we have a delusional president, it is entirely possible that every single thing he says about his war is a lie. The delusional president has already said that he has won the war. And Iranian officials publicly laugh at him for that. The delusional president said that he could open the Strait of Hormuz as soon as it was shut down. And he was lying. We know that now. The delusional president said that American warships would accompany oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, and they should do it right away and be brave about it. And he was proven to be lying about every word of that. And now the delusional president who started a war desperately wants that war to end. And of course, the delusional president has no idea how to end his war.